Welcome back to Outside Views, where today we're wading through turbulent waters, and I mean that literally. Because a record numbers of migrants have just crossed the English Channel in a single day, and the political waves are crashing hard. According to the Home Office, 705 people arrived in the UK last Tuesday alone, and 12 boats, over 700 people in just 24 hours. That's the highest number this year. And we are still in the first half of it. And the total number of crossings in 2025 so far, a provisional 8,888. And that's not just a number, that's a 42% jump from this time last year, and 81% more than in 2023. So yes, this is escalating fast. And if you guessed that the political blame game would follow immediately, well, you would be right. The Conservatives wasted no time branding it another day of Labour failure. And Shadow Home Secretary Chris Philp came out swinging here. He called it the worst start to a year on record for channel crossings. He said, and I quote, "Labour scrapped our deterrent before it even began and replaced it with nothing." That deterrent, of course, was the infamous Rwanda plan. You remember that. A £700 million scheme to fly asylum seekers to Rwanda for processing. And not one flight really ever took off. Legal challenges blocked it. And when Labour took office in 2024, the whole project was binned. Philp says cancelling Rwanda was a catastrophic mistake. And he is blaming the Labour government for creating a power vacuum at the border. A vacuum that smugglers and traffickers are all too happy to fill. And what's Labour saying? The Home Office says it's throwing the kitchen sink at the problem. And they are saying they are investing in border security, increasing returns of illegal migrants, launching a crackdown on illegal working, and working more closely with France than ever before. In fact, there is already an agreement to deploy a new elite unit of officers on the French coast, plus a specialist intelligence unit. More officers, more powers. And even negotiations underway for a migrant return scheme with France, a sort of swap deal for migrants. And the goal? To hit the smugglers where it hurts, take down their networks, and of course, stop the dangerous crossings altogether. But the Conservatives are not really impressed here. They say the returns deal will send back only small numbers and won't act as a deterrent. In other words, too little, too late. And remember, this is not just about headlines. This is about public perception. It's about whether people believe their government is in control. And right now, with 700 people landing in a single day, many don't. And this issue is as political as it is logistical. And it touches on everything from border enforcement to international law to economic policy. Because each person crossing the channel represents a complex set of challenges. Where do they go? How are they processed? Who pays for it? What rights do they have? And most importantly, what is the long-term plan? And without a clear answer, the anger grows, and the polarization deepens, and the political rhetoric escalates. Because for one side, this is about compassion. For the other, it's about sovereignty. And in the middle sits a broken asylum system that hasn't been reformed in decades. And let's also not forget the international angle. This isn't just the UK's problem. France, Belgium, the Netherlands, they are all struggling with similar issues. And the people smugglers are highly organized. And they do adapt quickly. And they don't care who dies trying to cross. And meanwhile, the migrants themselves are fleeing war zones, political persecution, economic collapse. They are not just statistics. They are still people. But people who are now at the center of an increasingly brutal political debate. And with elections on the horizon, don't expect that to change anytime soon. I mean, the local elections. But there's the real question. Can any government, Labour, Tory or otherwise, really claim to have control of the situation? Or is this now a permanent feature of European politics? And if it is, what comes next? Temporary fixes or real reform? Well, one thing you can say is that tough choices lie ahead, and they won't be solved by sound bites alone. And that's why I say thanks for watching, and if you found this breakdown helpful, like, subscribe and tap the bell for more analysis. And this is Outside Views, where headlines meet hard questions. See you next time, and the next video is right here in the end screen.